and welcome to another product introduction video. My name is Oliver Draper, CTO for COP. The product we're looking at today is the brand new Hikvision alarm panel. Now this one is the M2H alarm panel. So Hikvision did an alarm panel quite a few years back now. Did the 64L and they did the 96M. That was basically the 64 light version, 64 peripherals embedded in, and the 96 mid-level version, which can add up to 96 peripherals in. This one is based off the 96M, so it is a mid-range panel. Up to 96 peripherals can be added to this one, but being the M2H, as it says there, it supports wired and wireless, and they're calling this one the Ultra Wireless series. Technically, it's hybrid, so it does wired and wireless. However, they don't call it hybrid purely because one of the main reasons is you can't put a wired keypad into this one to be defined as hybrid. It does have to be able to accept a wired keypad. So again, the keypad, if you're going to use one, will be a wireless one. It has got wired inputs in there, and you've also got some wired outputs as well as all the wireless things. So what we'll do, let's get this opened up, take a look inside, and just see how we set this up. So, to get inside it, we just have to undo those two screws just here, at the very bottom. And then if we just pop open the front of this case, this is what we got inside. So, at the top here is your wired board. So as you can see along the bottom here, we've got our 16 different wired zones that we can wire in. So this top board we're seeing here is for the wired side of things. And then on the right hand side here is we've got our wired outputs as well. Just here on these two prongs here, this is where we can connect up our battery. So in the box you do get the lower cable itself. You just attach that onto there. And then that allows you to put them two prongs onto your battery, which we'll do in a moment. So just take that out just for now. Okay, now behind this board, we've got the wireless board. Now to get to the wireless board, all we've got to do is push these two little white prongs away, and then this allows us just to lift off this board, thus so. Now we've got to take care when doing this, because just behind, it is connected by a ribbon cable. I'm just going to remove that now, and just so you guys can see. So there we go, that board just connects into that bit there with the actual ribbon cable that's come inside. We'll put this board to one side. And in here, this is our wireless board. So we've got there our two SIM card slots, which are just there to add our two SIMs into there. And then you've got your actual 4G antenna at the top. We've got our normal antenna, which is what connects our usual wireless connection into there as well, including the wireless peripherals at top back to this panel as well. Running on the usual 868 megahertz frequency. Down the bottom here, we've also got our LAN slot there to connect in our Ethernet cable, so it's straight onto the network. So it has got onboard Wi-Fi, it's got onboard LAN, and the two SIM card slots as well. So let's put this back together. Now in order to wire this up, we have got, if we look at the back of the actual panel itself, there are various knockouts we can use to feed our cables through. I've just got one here that I've just pushed through just for the time being for this demonstration. And what it allows me to do is just put my Ethernet cable just into the slot that's underneath this board, as I just showed you a moment ago. Now my Ethernet's cable in, what I'm going to do is also wire in my battery. Again, as I showed you earlier on, we just push that cable onto that two prongs there. Got our two terminals here, and this allows us to connect the black to black, red to red. Once that's hooked up, that battery will just fit nicely into the bottom, thus so. Now the final thing we need to connect in now is our mains power supply with the cable that comes with the device, and that just slots into the top part of the board, thus so. Now that's all good to go, all we need to do is flick the power switch in the top left hand corner, and above it we have our QR code, which when we power the device on, we use the QR code to scan it to the HikConnect app to configure it all from there. Okay, so here's the panel now, as we can see. We've got our mains power going into there as well. We've also got our battery backup in there, so the mains just charge the battery. This is a 12 volt 7 amp hour battery. This will last you a good few hours if there is power loss to the system. All we've got to do is set it up. We do it all through the HikConnect app. First of all, what we've got to do is turn the panel on just with a switch there at the front. Power light has come on there. Might be difficult to see on the camera, but we have got some LEDs that do appear there. This thing will speak to you as well. It will tell you when it's ready. It will tell you when it's armed or disarmed. It will tell you when you've added a device or device been removed, or essentially whatever you're doing, this panel will speak to you. You can disable that feature if you don't want it to, but it is very useful and extremely user-friendly when you're configuring and setting the thing up. Also useful for the end users because they know if they've armed or disarmed the panel. So just give that a moment or two just to tell us when that's ready. And we should get the little icon in the top right corner as well to indicate that it's connected to the cloud. There we go, control panel ready. So that is ready to be used. So on my HikConnect app, which you can see on screen now, I just click the little plus icon in the top right hand corner. And I got the option here now to scan QR code. So I go scan QR code. So open up my camera and I just find the QR code, which is located in the top left hand corner. And there we go now, it's found that and it says, is this the device you want to add? It's the DS-PBA 96 M2H, which is what this one is. Click on add. It's asking me, because I'm going through HikConnect, which is the end user app, it's asking me, do I want to give authorization to my installer using the Partner Pro application? For today, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to say no for that one and click finish top right. Again, at the bottom, I'm just going to reject the authorization to service partner. Again, if you're doing through Partner Pro, the concept is exactly the same. You create an area, scan the QR code. If you are interested in using Partner Pro or how Partner Pro works, go to the link in the top corner there. I did another video previously on how you set up Partner Pro. As we can see on screen now, it's saying that it's detected there's a new firmware available. So all I'll do is click Upgrade Now. It's telling what firmware it's currently on, which is version 1.2.8, build 230110. For those you're not aware, the build number is the date backwards of when that firmware was released. There's a later version, you can see, version 1.29, build 231207. So the firmware we're going to upgrade to came out on the 7th of December 2023. All I got to do is hit the blue button that says Upgrade. Click on Upgrade. It says, are you sure it's going to take a few minutes? Don't disconnect for power. Yep, upgrade now. And we just leave it going. This is doing an over-the-air update. So I don't need to go off to the Hikvision website or wherever and find that firmware file and manually upload it into the web browser. Could do if you wanted to. There is a web browser facility for this device. You can use SADP to find it on your network, log into the web browser and upload the digicat file there. But you don't need to. You do it all for the app and you just press the button there to update it. So what I'll do, I'll skip this rest of the bit of the video because this will take about 5 minutes now just to do its update, and we'll come back to it in a second. Okay, that is now showing as completed. It tells me the current version is version 1.29, which is what we're waiting for, and I just click finish at the bottom. So there's the panel now. It's showing us the one area because it has one area on there by default, and it's currently disarmed, which is good. So if we click on the actual space next to it, it says AXPRO. This can put us into the settings of the AXPRO itself. This is where we can add other areas in there. So you might have different areas of your property. If it's a business premises, again, different areas of your business site or whatever. For example, my home one, I've got one for my shed, I've got one for the house. I've got different areas so I can arm and disarm different areas if I wish to. On the top there, I can just click on the device, go to any devices that I've got added, any peripherals, whether they're wired or wireless in this case. Again, so far, nothing's added in. And then go to status. And I can see the current state of the system. So it's saying main power supply connected, Ethernet is connected. It says Wi-Fi is disconnected. Yep, not put on the Wi-Fi yet. Mobile network is saying disconnected. Battery status currently says 0%. That is not accurate. It's clearly because it's just finished doing its update. That should hopefully refresh in a moment and show me what my battery status is. It should hopefully only be about, I think, about 60-70% of this battery so far at the moment. LED status, and again, if it's got the smoke detector power supply and so forth. So, if we just go back to area, this is where I can add other areas in. So I can add area 2 in if I really wanted to. Go the back left button there. And go back to the main home screen. As we can see now, it's just taking a moment to update. There we go. I've now got the battery status there in green, as we can see as well. So that is up there. So I'll go back to that same section now. Hopefully, there we go. Battery status now showing 74%. So that's all good. Once I'm in this area here, if I want to, I can click on the cog in the top right-hand corner, and this puts me sort of under the bonnet of the actual alarm panel itself. Go to user management. This is where I can add other users in there. Again, it's just got myself in there at the moment. If I go to the system config is mainly just going to be like things like the time zone and stuff like that, really. Not a lot you need to change in there. If I go back and click on system options, this is where I've got some further things I can do about the panel. System volume is currently at 8 by default. This is where I can increase it up to 10 or lower it down if I wanted to. Fault prompts when armed. So when I arm the system, is it going to tell me what faults are there? If I turn that feature on, yep, so when I arm, it's going to tell me what faults are there. However, notice it's just said there the system will not be compliant with European EN 50131-1 standards after you enable it. So that's a feature of the alarm panel here. Whenever you change a setting and it makes it not compliant to UK standards, it tells you. So again, it makes it very simple and straightforward to commission the system. And again, as we go down, we've got all the other various bits of settings as well. Again, jamming sensitivity is there as well. It's telling me that obviously that's not compliant at this moment in time. Again, I would have to change that if I want it to make it compliant. Panel fault check. What checks it's going to do? So it's going to check every 3 minutes if the battery is lost. It's going to check every 3 minutes if the battery is low. It's going to tell me the LAN connection is lost every 3 minutes. It's going to tell me the Wi-Fi is lost every 3 minutes. I'm going to turn that off because I'm not using Wi-Fi. So I don't want it to report a fault because I'm not using Wi-Fi. Same thing for cellular lost. I've not put any SIM cards in there. So because I'm not using the SIM card, I've disabled the cellular lost feature. That way it won't report it as a fault. And then finally we've got the panel mains power lost. Basically, and that's every 10 seconds it will check if the mains power is lost and that will report it back as well. Arming options. Again, different arming options are there. So again, fault checklist when arming. Yeah, okay. To make it compliant, that has to be turned on. Fault voice prompts on arming, should I say, that's turned on. Again, disable that. It makes it compliant. Same for the disarming feature as well. So again, anything you change will change if it's compliant or not, and it will tell you. Now I'm just going to go back to the main menu before we go into the rest of the things. Now, this alarm panel, as I mentioned, is wired and wireless. Again, I've got my wired contacts at the bottom, which can wire to 16 different inputs I want it to there, and I've got some outputs that I can do as well. However, I'm just going to use wireless for today, makes things a little bit simpler. If I go into device and click on the plus option there, I can add a device in. Is it wired or wireless? Click on wireless, and it's asking me to scan the QR code of a device. So I've got a PIR just here. All I've got to do with the Hikvision PIR, just turn the screw on the bottom. Loosen it off a bit more. Okay. Then what I've got to do is I just scan the QR code on the back of it. There we go, just took a moment to just to focus it then. And it's asking me to turn it on within 30 seconds. So if I just turn it on now, power switch is just on the back of the device there itself.
Right. Wrong.
There we go. So I've enrolled the device and it's told me it's now enrolled. I'm just going to put the cover on there. Careful not to lift the cover again because that will trigger the tamper. As we can see by default, and again, I'll just hold it up, you can see it is flashing the blue light. Maybe a bit difficult to see on camera. But that blue light is flashing away there. So it's doing a walk test straight away by default. I'm just going to tighten that screw up so we don't trigger the tamper on there, because if I was to open this now and trigger the tamper switches inside, that will of course set the alarm off. Let's pop that there just for a second. Okay. So straight away, it's put me into the settings of the device as soon as I've enrolled it. I can rename this wireless zone if I wanted to, which zone number it comes under, what the linked area. It's linked to area 1. I've only got one area so far. Is it an instant zone? Is it a delay zone, a follow zone, 24-hour zone, timeout zone, disabled? Again, what kind of zone it is. So instant zone means as soon as it's armed, as soon as it detects a motion and the PI is triggered, it will trigger the alarm immediately. Delays where it can be delayed for a certain period of time, so it doesn't go off immediately. So if it's like an entrance or exit area, you might want to delay that one. You've got a follow zone, which maybe you've got a delay on your door contact when you come in, but then you walk into the living room area where this is there, and this can be a follow zone. So that's saying actually if there's a delay one going on the previous one, this is a follow one, it won't trigger immediately essentially. And then we've got things like 24-hour zone, which is basically 24/7 regardless what you do with the system. Is it a timeout zone or are you disabling it altogether? Stay arm bypass. Again, if it's stay arm, that means if I do a stay arm or away arm, there's different ways to arm it. So it could be that if I do a stay arm, I want all my door and window contacts to be armed, but I don't want my PIRs to be armed. So I can still walk around the property and again, it won't trigger the alarm. So I'd need to turn on stay arm bypass. And then we've got other things like forbid bypass and arming chiming, so it can chime whenever it detects motion. Silent alarm, so if it does trigger an alert, it doesn't trigger the bell boxes, it just does a silent alarm, so it notifies the app essentially, or maybe your alarm receiving center, whatever you're using. And then we've got sound delay, so don't trigger sound immediately. Double knocking, cross zone. We can link cameras to it, so if you've got any Hikvision IP cameras, we can link them to this PIS. When this PIS is triggered, it grabs footage from a nearby IP camera. Again, quite a few things we can do with this device. If I just go back, and there it is, telling me the signal strength is full, I think so, it's next to it, and the battery status is full as well. Yes, it is brand new, fresh out of the box. These devices will do up to about 800 meters, clear line of sight. The moment that you do take this device, obviously it's got to go through walls and ceilings and that, it might be obviously shortened down. Again, I can't say exactly how much because it depends how thick your walls are. And if your walls are, made of brick or metal or lead or whatever, that's also going to affect it as well. So the maximum transmission distance, again, they said up to about 800 meters. That was a clear line of sight with no interference. But again, do take into account that there might be other factors that will affect the wireless transmission distance. There are wireless repeaters you can get for these devices as well. So again, if you are struggling to get signal to where you've installed this device, you can put a wireless repeater in the halfway point between the panel and the peripheral, and that will then leapfrog the connection. Now, adding these devices in one by clicking the plus buttons and obviously scanning the QR code can take time, especially if you've got quite a lot of devices. One of the features it does has is an enrollment mode. Let's give that a go. I click the cog in the top right corner, go to System, System Options, along the top there, Enrollment mode. Let's give that a go.
Power the device on and bring me close to the hub.
Okay, so it's telling me to turn on the peripherals and bring them close to the hub. Let's give it a go with a few of these then. So I've got a normal door contact. Let's just power that on. Bring it, and then put the cover on and bring it in proximity.
Fragment shock detector. 1. Enroll.
There we go. That's enrolled. That's good. Got a PIR camera here. We'll look at the settings of that in a moment, but let's just open it up, turn it on.
PIR camera detector. 1. Enroll.
So that's enrolled. Again, cover on there. Put that screw on. And the light is flashing, tell me it's in water test mode. That's good. And final device I'm going to add in is going to be our keypad with a prox reader in there as well. So I'll just take the cover off on the back of this one. Turn it on. Turned on.
Keypad. 1. Enroll.
Keypad's enrolled. Let's put that cover back on there and pop that screw in place just so we don't trigger the tamper on that either. There we go. That's on as well. Fantastic. Once I've enrolled my device I want to enroll, I just click.
Exit enrolling mode. Alarm.
Now the alarm's triggered
Alarm.
because
Alarm.
I've triggered the tamper. So all I got to do,
Alarm. System already disarmed.
just disarm the panel.
PIR camera detector. 1. Lid open.
Ah, so that was my PIR camera that detected the lid open on the tamper on there as I was doing these. So then, quite interested. Again, it was triggering a tamper, triggered the alarm. Again, you can saw from the app, it just disabled that one. So again, I've got a few devices on it at the minute, including the keypad, which give me the area one, and I can arm or disarm it, put my pin number there, create a pin on here if I wanted to. But again, very straightforward and really easy to actually configure and set the system up. Now this one can set up to 96 peripherals. I'm not going to add on 96 in today. That'll take me quite a while. There are over 210 different peripherals that Hikvision manufacture for their alarm panels. So again, this is just some of the devices. We've got normal PIR. We've got our PIR cameras, where that camera, it's not a camera you just log into and look at the image like you would do a normal IP camera. That takes still pictures. So when the system's armed and the PIR is triggered, that will capture up to 20 still pictures, stitched together as a GIF image, and fire that through to your app. This particular one is a colour view version as well, so it has actually got a white light on there, which will flash the white light and give you colour images back as well. So again, you get some sort of picture verification. Likewise, you've got your door contacts here, simple, normal, open and close door contacts like you put on your doors. This one is a shock one as well. There's there is another one that's non-shock as well. If I go into the device themselves, let's just refresh the app. Again, you'll see this on screen now. I've got my different peripherals that are just there at the minute. It's saying my wireless zone 2, which is my door contact, is currently open. If I just put the little detector next to it there, that'll then read back that the fact that it is closed now. And again, from here, this is where I can actually change the settings of these peripherals. Go into wireless zone 2, which is my actual door contact. Tell me the temperature, the battery status, the signal strength, etc. Click on the cog top right. I can even get this thing to chime when I open the door. So again, if I open the door, there we go. That got the ding dong there. Put it back again, and there we go. So again, I can get the single time, or I can have it to continuously tone as well. If I go down towards the bottom, we can see shock detection is turned on as well, and the shock sensitivity is set at 4. Let's put it on the highest level just for a minute. That's on 6 now. I can also turn on tilt detection if I want to, but theoretically I should be able to give this a bit of a shock, and it should do the chime. There we go, just by banging the table there, that actually triggered it as well, because again it's a shock and door contact as well. Put on tilt detection, should just be able to tilt that. Then just tilting that has actually triggered it as well. So I'm just going to turn that chime off because I don't want that constantly going off because that would be quite frustrating. If I go back, I'm going to go to wireless zone 3 now. This is our PIR cam from this device here. This is where I can take a quick snapshot, and that will just basically do a quick function test to ensure what sort of image I'm actually getting back from this thing. It says captured. I've got to wait a minute. It takes approximately about 10 seconds for it to capture the pictures it's doing, and then fire them through to your HikConnect app. While we're just waiting for those to come through, we're just going to click on the cog in the top right corner. This is where we can change the settings of it. So I can go towards the bottom here because we've seen the other settings so far. Oh, there's my test at the top. We'll look at them that test in a second. I can change the resolution to VGA, which is the high resolution. How many images? By default, it's set to 6. I can have up to 20 if I wanted to. But do increase the resolution to the highest resolution. I can only have a maximum of 10 pictures. So it depends on what resolution you do set as well, which will determine, obviously, how many pictures you're going to be able to get as well. If we just go back, let's take a look at that function test we got through, and let's just have a see what we got. Let's go to my notifications. There's my manual report test. And there it is. That was just a quick snapshot I got, obviously, when I was holding it up to the side of me. And it just takes one still picture, in that case, when it is just doing a test, just to see how the system is behaving. As you can see, the actual entire panel is currently disarmed. I've got that to do an away arm at the bottom there, which the person walking away from the house, which arms everything. I can do a stay arm, which basically, if I set on stay arm bypass, it only arms certain peripherals, disarm, and then I've also got my silent alarm as well. So if I just arm the system, that's armed. Let's trigger something.
Alarm.
So that's triggering now, burglary alarm.
Alarm.
Keypad is also doing a tone as well, and I can disable that.
System disarm.
Really, really straightforward system to use.
3. Burglary alarm.
And that was a zone 3 burglary alarm, so let's have a look at the notifications.
Camera detected. 1. Redouble.
Let's have a look and just see. So, burglary alarm, there it is. Click on the playback, and there we go. There's the 6 images that it's stitched together to indicate that the alarm was triggered by that PIR camera that we had just there. There we go, one. That is the AXPRO M2H alarm panel. As you'll agree, again, very simple and straightforward system to actually configure and set up, all done through your mobile app, just by scanning QR codes and even putting the peripherals into enrollment mode, and dead straightforward. If you're interested in this product, plus any of the peripherals you saw today, go to the description below. Link is in there to all the peripherals and all the panels that Hikvision do manufacture for this system. There are lots of them, as I did mention, up to 210 different peripherals available. Again, it's up to you to decide which ones you need for your application. As always, if you did like the video, guys, don't forget that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. And as always, if you hit that bell icon, you'll be able to upload any new videos.